Hello, my name is Preston. I am a Sumerian host. Today I will explain some news happened in Japan. Because of the coronavirus, Japan is no longer safe. If you come to Japan now, you have to be careful. Today I will explain why I think so based on the news in Japan. Firstly, I explain the current status of coronavirus in Japan. There was such news. Than 100 people in Japan was infected. A total of 3 children, including those younger than 10 years old, were confirmed in Hokkaido and Saitama Prefecture on the 21st due to a new type of coronavirus infection that spreads in various places. 2 are elementary school children and 1 is preschooler, none of which is severe. 12 other cases of infection have been reported, with 109 outbreaks in Japan and 743 cases of infected persons on cruise ships anchored at Yokohama port. The government is planning to finalize a basic response policy next week, and is carefully considering when to shift the stage from early outbreak to expansion stage. That's all. From this news, Japan has at least 109 infected people. And Japan may shift the stage to expansion stage. So it's really dangerous. Next, I explain my understanding that why the spread of coronavirus started. I think one reason is that Japanese government didn't restrict the immigration from China during the Lunar New Year. There was such news before starting the Lunar New Year. The major holidays in China due to the Lunar New Year will begin on January 24th. This year many Chinese tourists will visit Japan. There is concern about the spread of pneumonia caused by a new outbreak of coronavirus that is spread to residents of Wuhan, a city in central China. The Chinese government has announced that more than 300 people have been infected so far, but it cannot be overstated. There are also reports that it is not only in Wuhan but also in Beijing and Shanghai. The human government has been desperate to remove unfavorable information on the internet, saying that a hospital in Wuhan is a pneumonia patient. This is the true story, a sad voice from a patient in the hospital saying ooh. However, it is a tragic situation that doctors and beds are not enough to go to the hospital and receive medical treatment. Such writing has been erased from one end. The Japanese government is strengthening airport checks to stop pneumonia from entering the waters, but questions remain about whether they can be stopped. There is no denying that it can spread in Japan. Every year, about 710,000 Chinese tourists visit Japan during the Lunar New Year. But according to Joe, this year is likely to be a record high. That's all. From this news, I guess about 710,000 Chinese tourists visit Japan during the Lunar New Year in this year too. So the spread of coronavirus might start then in earnest. Next, I explain why are you likely to get infected in Japan. Of course, Japan has at least 109 infected people. So the possibility of infection is high. In addition to this, the transmission route is matter. There is such news. After onset, transfer to Aichi by Tokaido Shinkansen. Men infected with the new coronavirus in Tokyo. The Tokyo Metropolitan Government announced on February 15 that 8 new Japanese people have been infected with the new coronavirus. One of them is a male office worker working in Tokyo in his 40s, who has been hospitalized since the 12th due to severe illness, and intubated the trachea to manage his breathing. He was on a business trip to Aichi Prefecture on the Tokaido Shinkansen on 10th of this month after the symptoms of cough and fever appeared. The city is examining whether the male office worker stayed on the bullet train or stayed there. It is said that there is not enough hearing with treatment. No history of staying in Hubei or Zhejiang provinces of China within 14 days before onset, and wearing a mask after onset. That's all. And in addition to this news, there is another news. A man in his 60s in Nara Prefecture, who served as a bus driver carrying tour passengers from Wuhan, China, was confirmed infected with the new coronavirus on 28th of last month. On the other hand, of the 5 people outside the prefecture who came in close contact with men, 2 bus guides from Osaka and Chiba were confirmed to be infected, and the remaining 3 had their respective municipalities check their health. That's all. From these news, what I would like to say is that infection blockade failed in Japan. So maybe if you ride on public transport or join the exhibition, there might be the infected people. This is the fact in Japan. In addition to this, there is the matter of cruise ship too. There is such news of the Diamond Princess crew passengers arriving at Yokohama port. Those who have tested negative for virus have begun disembarking on February 19th. On the 19th, 443 passengers disembark. I moved to a terminal station such as Yokohama Station by bus and got home. According to the Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare, of the 3,011 people so far tested, 621 were positive as of the 19th. 322 of them are asymptomatic. According to the New York Times of the United States, they have finished quarantine of the coronavirus, and passengers have descended into the city of Yokohama as experts show deep concern. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, have announced that their citizens will not be allowed to board a passenger plane to the United States after they have been disembarked until they have been confirmed free of symptoms for the next 14 days. The article introduced these responses and stated, "It is not clear when the passengers were quarantined. Some have been tested on weekends, but they may have been subsequently infected. I mean that." In addition to this news, there is another news. Confirmed infection of 60s female in Tochigi on cruise ship disembarkation. In Tochigi Prefecture, a passenger on the cruise ship Diamond Princess anchored at Yokohama port was negative on board, so a woman in her 60s in the prefecture who got off the ship on the 19th of this month, we announced that infection with coronavirus was confirmed. This is the first time in Japan that a person who has been disembarked from a cruise ship is infected. The infection was confirmed by a Japanese woman in her 60s living in Tochigi Prefecture, who was a passenger on a Diamond Princess, a cruise ship anchored in Yokohama port. According to Tochigi Prefecture, a woman boarded a Diamond Princess with her husband in her 70s, and was inspected on board on the 14th of this month. I came home at home. However, a fever of 38 degrees 7 minutes appeared on the 21st, and a pneumonia was diagnosed at a medical institution in the prefecture on the 22nd, and as a result of a detailed examination, infection with the new coronavirus was confirmed. The woman and her husband traveled by public transport to a station near their home after disembarking on the 19th of this month, then returned home from the station in a car driven by an acquaintance, and went home once for shopping after returning home. So, the prefecture decides to investigate the detailed behavioral history and close contacts of women. That's all. From this news, what I would like to say is that it is possible that some of the 443 people who were disembarked were infected. They live as usual throughout Japan. As you can imagine, there's no reason the pandemic won't start. Worse, there is no mask in Japan. There is such news. Mask shortage, eliminate when? It has been half a month since masks disappeared from drugstores and convenience stores around Japan due to the spread of the new coronavirus infection from Wuhan, China. Insufficient masks are becoming increasingly serious not only for home use but also for medical use in hospitals and nursing homes. According to statistical data from the Japan Federation of Sanitary Materials, out of approximately 5.5 billion household, medical and industrial masks distributed in Japan in 2018, imports were approximately 4.4 billion and domestic production was approximately 1.1 billion. Japan currently accounts for 80% of its imports, mainly from China. A sales representative who sells hygiene products to hospitals and nursing homes says, "Many facilities use Chinese-made masks, and imports have stopped, so we haven't been able to deliver them at all since February. It was difficult to get the priority to turn around, and I could hardly respond. There is information that a ship with a mask from China will be able to enter the port at the end of February, but I am not sure." That's all. From this news, Japanese people cannot use masks to prevent infection. Under these circumstances, companies have begun to take the following measures. There is such news: Nomura Securities, line, GMO. Event cancellation, telecommuting instructions. Following the spread of the new coronavirus, COVID-19, major securities companies such as Nomura Securities and Daiwa Securities and fintech-related companies such as Line and Mercari have discontinued events one after another. Instead, some companies are conducting events using VR. In addition, more and more companies are instructing employees to work from home as well as events. Remote work using IT has been spreading in recent years, but with the spread of this infection, the movement is likely to be further spurred. Securities companies that have announced or postponed the event include Nomura Securities, Daiwa Securities Group Incorporated, the Japan Stock Exchange, JPX, SMBC Nikko Securities, and Mizuho Securities. Both companies have announced that they will basically cancel seminars and other events hosted by stores and branches. GMO Internet Group decided to shift to remote work as soon as possible due to the effects of new type pneumonia. Crowdfunding Campfire has also introduced telecommuting with no deadline. Yahoo has set flex to avoid the commuter rush during the core hours, and with the spread of the infection, has lifted restrictions on working at home for some people. Mercari and Rakuten have also introduced some telecommuting, and have recommended staggered commuting. The online meeting is said to be online. Mercari also says that the job interview will be online. That's all. From this news, the risk of coronavirus infection by each company shows that various measures are taken. That's a dangerous situation. Again, coming to Japan now is really dangerous. That's all. Okay, that's all for today. I appreciate that you could understand about the Japanese news. If you like, please press the good button on this video. I would like to introduce the Japanese news to you from now on. So if you like, please subscribe my YouTube channel and feel free to follow me on SNS. I attached the web link for my SNS account on the summary column of this video. Bye.